Right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our International Women's Day 2025 section. My name is Zainab, and I am the founder of Names Home. I am beyond honored to have you all here tonight. Today is more than just celebration. It is a powerful reminder of strength, resilience, and impact of women, especially mothers, who juggle so many roles while shaping the future. At Means Home, our mission has always been to support, uplift, and empower mothers through technology, community, and shared experiences. We are privileged to have incredible speakers joining us today. Dr. Olukemi on maternal and child health care, Fauziya Abubakar on financial literacy, and Anne on mental health, who will equip us with knowledge that truly empowers and transforms lives. Thank you for being here, for showing up, and believing in the power of women supporting women. And believing in engaging and inspiring. Happy International Women's Day. All right.
Good evening, everyone. Happy International Women's Day. I'm so sorry you won't be seeing my face tonight. My name is Mark J, the brand master. I'm a brand communication expert and I'm a partner with Mims Home. I would like to welcome you to this wonderful program. And we have the program is going to be power packed with a lot of resourceful professionals that will be speaking to us on different topics. And for the first session, we'd like to invite, with drum rolls and a loud ovation, Dr. Olukemi for our session. Thank you very much, ma'am. So, Dr. Olukemi, if you're online, I've unmuted you. You can start speaking.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to confirm if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Fantastic. I am so excited to be in Mim's home Telegram platform this evening. Happy International Women's Day to all the women present and to the men who are also present and have very important women in their lives. My name is Dr. Olukemi Olugbade, and I'm a public health physician and epidemiologist with expertise in different specialties in public health, but I have a lot of dedication for reproductive maternal child health, and I am a woman's advocate. And at every point in time when I have the opportunity to talk to women, I like to share, a lot of sincere truths with us, and also try to demystify a lot of issues related to women's health, children's health, and reproductive health. So today, in commemoration of the International Women's Day and the theme, which is Accelerate Action, I want to encourage every woman here to be an active participant and accelerate action in the context of their health. So, health in women is very unique and peculiar because women's health is connected to their mental, emotional, psychological, and even financial well-being. And all these components play out when it comes to maternal health and reproductive health. Now, I want to take the areas I want to highlight in this conversation is the journey of womanhood, may as a maiden, as a mother, and as a matriarch. The journey of womanhood as a maiden, as a mother, and as a matriarch. Everything about Mim's Home and the fantastic platform that Madam Zainab has put together is celebration of womanhood and motherhood. And so, which other day to celebrate this, like today? Now, when it comes to women, we need to understand that we're on a unique journey, and this journey is a lifetime journey. And at different stages of our journey, we need a lot of support and understanding. Now, the first support system every woman should develop is herself. In understanding yourself, in getting to know yourself, you must also understand your body. A woman's body is a very sensitive creation and is uniquely blessed because it brings forth life. In bringing forth life, it is not automatic, so to speak. There are different maturation stages that a woman goes through. So, in reproductive health, there's what we call the prenatal stage. And this part of a woman's development, I want us to pay very important attention to, because what women experience when it comes to the motherhood stage and the matriarchal stage of their lives is very connected to the prenatal stage. So the prenatal stage has to do with, like I said, the woman's most important support system is herself. So her self identity. For a woman to be able to, stand as a a a well-rounded figure, she must know who she is. These days, looking at the different generational shifts, there's so many controversies about who a woman is. Well, it's very straightforward, either biologically or genetically or even socially. There is who a woman is. So a woman must be able to identify herself as a female, and she must also be able to identify herself as someone who has meaningful contribution to society. So her self identity, very important. Self awareness is very important in the context of, you must know your strengths, your weaknesses, your interests, your personalities. What are the things that make you happy? What are the things that you're passionate about? What are the things, that drive you? All these are connected to your mental well-being, because if you keep on, engaging in activities that don't give you joy, that don't give you peace, or or if a woman finds herself in a toxic environment, she will not be able to bring forth her best self or attain her desired goals, aspirations, and ambition. And a very important aspect of self identity and self awareness when it comes to the early phase of life as a maiden is also self esteem. Self esteem is how you see yourself, how much respect you have for yourself, and how well you rate yourself in the context of, for example, so there was this Instagram video I saw. It was I think I'll share this video with Madam Zainab. It's very insightful, and it actually touched me. So it was a setting where there was a group of women and there was a speaker, and then one of the women in the audience raised her hand and she wanted to ask a question. And she asked if someone her age, I think she was probably in her late 20s or early 30s, can still go to medical school. And, the speaker asked her why not. She now said, "Ah, somebody like her." And she now said, so what is wrong with her?" And she already addressed her as she said, I see you being a doctor, I see you being successful. And months later, there was another meeting, and the woman came back and she told the speaker, I was the one that asked the question the other day, and I'm pleased to tell you that I am in medical school now. It is difficult, it is hard, but it's the best decision I've ever taken. So those kind of things are important when it comes to, your future direction. So if you have a very, very good self esteem, you'll be able to handle every and anything that comes your way. You'll find yourself being unshakable, unstoppable, and you never see impossibility. Now, because of maybe childhood trauma, exposure to mistreatment or maltreatment or toxicity or maybe dysfunctional home setting, a lot of young women have their self-esteem damaged. They were not shown love, were not shown care. They grew up, you know, on their own. And then, there's also this firstborn, first daughter syndrome where, a young girl, irrespective of her age, is like the alternate mother to everybody in the family, but her needs are not considered. Some of those things affect self-identity, um, self-awareness, self-esteem. But the most important thing is for a person to know that they are beyond, their age or their gender or their, or whatever society, has, whatever box that society has put them in. So all these things are very important because as a public health practitioner, I have seen that when women do not have a good self identity, they don't have a good self awareness, and they don't have good self esteem, they are very satisfied with the basic minimum. They struggle with education. And you know that when a woman doesn't have good education, she's not educationally empowered, there's a challenge that in future she might be financially disempowered. There's a challenge in future that she may make wrong choices, either personal choices, sexual choices, life choices generally, because she is not well rooted in who she is and what she can achieve, and so anything that is like the bare minimum, the basic minimum, she accepts because she doesn't even know any better, right? There's always this saying about not looking for love in the wrong places. When a woman doesn't have good self awareness, good self identity, good self esteem, anything that looks like love, even if it's toxic, she accepts it. And so that is why you find a lot of women experiencing violence in their relationships because at the beginning of the relationship, they might have been love bombed and then they developed an unhealthy attachment to this, partner that abuses them either emotionally, psychologically, financially, or physically. And then these women have a lot of health problems. They have, anxiety, depression, reproductive health challenges, some might have difficulty conceiving, and some who conceive might have recurrent miscarriages, or some have, a lot of they have very short intervals of child spacing, and then you see them with a lot of children that they cannot cater for. And so you can see that, all these, affect their maternal health, their reproductive health, because they can't say no. They don't have the body autonomy to say no because they're looking for love, you know. They have a lot of needs emotionally, but it's being met in the wrong way. And so they try to compensate, in trying to get this partner's love by, never saying no to sex, not being able to negotiate sex, and then, you know, sometimes because this partner doesn't regard or respect them, might also have other sexual partners, and then this woman is battling with a lot of sexually transmitted infections. So you can see the connection, you can see how these dots connect and how it can boomerang into lifelong problems just because, at the maiden stage, a woman struggled with her self identity, her self worth, her, self awareness, and self esteem. Apologies, someone is trying to call me and that is disrupting the flow. So we need to teach young girls, all these things so that they make better choices, because the choices that they make in this stage of their lives affects the rest of the journey. Okay. Now, aside, things related to self-awareness, self-esteem, and all those things I've talked about, this is the time for women to pay attention to their bodies, because at the maiden stage, that is when puberty happens. So it's very important that women know their bodies. You understand, the development of female sexual characteristics. You know about menstruation, about ovulation, about getting pregnant, about safe sex, about abstinence. If you are not ready to have sex, and then if a woman for any reason or the other now chooses to have sex, that is body autonomy. It is a woman's prerogative. Okay. And for any sexual encounter she wants to engage in, it is important she gives her consent, and that way she is less at risk of different kinds of reproductive health problems, and she does not engage in risky sexual behavior. Risky sexual behavior includes things like, having multiple sexual partners, or not having protected sex, or, transactional sex. All those things are major issues, that could affect her reproductive health, either at that point or even in the future. It is important that a woman knows her body and has the final say and authority about it. So, of course, there are some controversial issues around things that have to do with body autonomy. But for a woman to know how to protect herself, she must know her body. Now, this area too is a major challenge with young women, especially in Nigeria and Africa, because they don't know their bodies, they don't understand their menstrual cycles, they don't know when they are ovulating, they have unprotected sex, they get pregnant, and then there's a chain of events. Some want to do an abortion and they procure unsafe abortion, and all the gamut of problems that follow, they are there. Some get pregnant, and because of that, their education is truncated and they drop out of school, and there's a lot of problems associated with that. Some get pregnant and they are forced into, especially in conservative and traditional families. If a young girl gets pregnant, she's made to marry the person that got her pregnant, and it might not have been a relationship that was very well thought out or planned for or concretized before the pregnancy came into place, and then she finds herself in a loveless marriage or in a forced marriage, and there's a lot of problems that comes with that. So when a woman understands her body, when she knows the different stages of her maturation, she understands her menstrual cycle, she knows when she's ovulating, she knows how to either abstain or protect herself and reduce exposure to sexually transmitted infections and other risky behavior that could complicate her reproductive health. She's better positioned to live a healthier reproductive life than if she doesn't understand her body. Okay. Now, um, at the stage where a woman sees that, she has any kind of challenge, even before a relationship or marriage, she can then get help. You know, for example, there are many women that come into our clinic and say things like, "Oh, that they are of this particular age and they've not had a menstruation in a year, So you're seeing somebody that is 20, 21, and she said, and she had started her period, and then for a whole year she's not menstruating. And then you send her for a scan and you see, multiple cystic ovaries, and you're like, wow. So anyone already having challenges with polycystic ovarian syndrome. And this is a major problem now with a lot of women. But if a woman doesn't know her body, she doesn't understand why, she has started her menses and then for a year or two, she's not even seeing her period. She just assumes every that, okay, maybe that is how other women are, and then she gets into a marriage and a relationship, and when there are challenges with infertility, of course, you know how it is in Africa, it's the woman that is usually blamed, even though the partner too may have his own issues. So if this woman was very aware of her body, she would have gotten treatment and gotten ready for starting a family before she even started the relationship or got married. So these things are very important because of the implications and how it could affect a marriage or a relationship, or capacity to conceive and all that, which is a very important aspect of the journey of womanhood. Now, of course, we all know that now, as there's a generational shift. Many women are deciding to not get married, and other many women are also deciding to be child free. But irrespective of those decisions, for women who have decided to have children, it's very important for them to know their bodies and are aware of the different stages and phases of their reproductive cycle, so that they can make better decisions. Now, when it comes to the motherhood stage, we're on a journey. It is important to understand that motherhood is very demanding, you know. So many women come into marriage with so many expectations, and some also come into marriage with no idea of how to navigate, you know, um, having a child or children, because there are people that they get married and their first delivery, they have twins, triplets, and first time mothers, no prior experience. So it takes a village to raise a child and children. And this is where a lot of women, struggle, because there's the attitude of hustling. Everybody is looking for, a good quality of life, both single people, young parents, even grandparents. Everybody wants a good life. And so sometimes people might not even have a support system, because the support system that you have expectations about are still, in their active stage of life, and they have their own, life that they are living. And then for young people too who have relocated, that is even another ballgame entirely, because they now find themselves in a system or in a society where everybody minds their business. Everything is, you have to, everything is DIY. You do it yourself, and so it might be a struggle. And when a woman doesn't have very good support, either from her spouse or her immediate family, maybe her parents or her siblings or her in laws, these are the things that push women into having postpartum depression. And for some people, this depression even comes while they're pregnant. So there's, antepartum depression, postpartum depression, and these things can, become persistent if this woman doesn't get help, and she can now even progress from something that was meant to be transient after delivery to a long term mental illness. So it's very important that before a woman gets pregnant, she already has a system and a structure in place that can support that journey, because it's a lifelong journey. Okay. And so during, even before she, like I said, everything we said was, the media